Just imagine this. I'm sitting at a restaurant, sipping some fine wine, at least according to Matt, when a heated debate suddenly kicks off between him and Larry. These two maniacs both drive heavily modded GT4 RSs, and the topic, how different these cars feel to drive at the limit. Now, to be clear, all three of us are within 8% of each other on lap times, so this debate is not about skill. We're all pushing these cars hard, but the way we approach driving them couldn't be more different. Matt says the car, even with all its mods, still remains slightly unpredictable. It keeps him from pushing just that last little bit harder. Larry, on the other hand, swears his 4RS is perfectly balanced. Predictable, obedient, he feels like he can make it do whatever he wants. Now, these two have never actually driven with each other, but I've ridden with both. And from the outside looking in, it's obvious. One is a reactive driver, the other a proactive driver. And that's exactly what today's video is about. What those two terms really mean, how they show up on track, and which one you should be depending on your car and your driving background. Let's get into it. Let's start with Matt. Matt came from karting, and he wasn't just a weekend warrior. He was serious about it. Karting built his foundation, where you need sharp reflexes, constant steering corrections, and quick reactions. From there, he transitioned into Trackdays with the 991.1 GT3. He took that car from stock to a fully sorted and modified track weapon, upgrading step by step, the most expensive way to do it, but also one of the most educational. And man, he was quick. Eventually, Matt moved into the 718 GT4 RS, and the goal was simple. Go from an amazing, fast rear engine car to something just as capable, but even more balanced. Now, there's this general idea that because a 911 carries its weight over the rear, it's inherently less balanced, but hold that thought. I'll come back to that. The key thing here is Matt got used to a car with one end, the rear, that was always predictable. So his automotive driving style evolved around leaning on that rear grip, push the front, trust the back, and let the lap times come to you. That works beautifully in a 911, but now he's in a mid-engine car. And here's the thing, in my opinion, a mid-engine car's better balance often comes with less predictability. Now, before some of you comment anything, hear me out. Still, feel free to comment, but listen to me a little. A GT4 RS isn't a car where you can just rely on one end. When you're on the edge, it's constantly shifting. One moment, you're leaning on front grip. The next moment, that develops into oversteer. Now, if you want to prove this, grab a toy car, hold it in the middle like a mid-engine setup car, and try spinning it. Now, this one's a little too big, but it would rotate fast. Now, hold it from the rear like a 911 and spin it again. It's gonna rotate less. That's the difference. A rear engine car gives you stability at the back, planting well on exit and through the turns. A mid-engine car gives you balance, but balance can also mean volatility. So Matt, who learned to react to what the car does rather than dictate it, finds himself constantly responding, sometimes a little too late. His car moves and then he moves. That's the reactive driver mindset. Now let's talk about Larry. Larry started with the 996 that had some power mods, questionable aids, and honestly was probably a bit of a handful. After that chaos, he wanted something more composed. So he stepped into a 718 GT4 car with naturally better balance and a huge leap in on-track capability. He spent years refining that car, both mechanically and in his own driving, until he could throw it around like a race car. I remember following him through the S's once, just bouncing off curbs, flicking it from apex to apex. The car absolutely danced. His GT4 was one of the fastest around at the time, and it wasn't by accident. Larry had learned to make the car do exactly what he wanted. That's the core of a proactive driver. He's not waiting to see what the car does, he's already telling it what to do. His hands, his feet, weight transfer are all one step ahead. The car never surprises him because he's never just reacting. Now, Matt may be a good bit quicker on the stopwatch, but Larry's car control is way more consistent. He's had far fewer oopsies, and that's because his driving style minimizes the element of surprise. And I really think that is how he has evolved as a driver to avoid the unexpected. So, which is better? The truth is, Neither one is wrong. Reactive drivers often extract the maximum performance from a car that talks clearly, like a modern 911. Proactive drivers thrive in cars that require constant, small inputs to stay on the edge, like our GT4 RSs. Ideally, you'd want to blend both. Take the anticipation and control of Larry's proactive style and the adaptability and confidence from Matt's reactive instincts. Because here's the thing, when I'm on track in our RS, it may look like I'm fighting the car, making little corrections all the time. But what's really happening is I'm keeping it awake. I'm intentionally giving it micro inputs to manage balance before it does something big, and therefore removing the element of surprise. I'd rather create a small slide myself than wait for the car to throw a big one at me. That's how you dance with a mid-engine car. Not on the limit, but just past, then back under the curve where it's stable. So how does this apply to you? Every driver brings habits from where they started, whether that's karting, front engine cars, or rear engine platforms. Those habits shape how you react to what your car does. But as you move into new machinery, especially mid-engine cars like the GT4 RS, you've got to unlearn a few things. The hardest part of progressing as a driver isn't learning new techniques, it's actually letting go of old ones that no longer serve you. So ask yourself, do you wait to see what the car does before correcting, or are you constantly managing its balance, staying one step ahead? Like I said, neither is wrong, but knowing which one you are helps you figure out what your car needs and what kind of driver you need to become next. So, which one are you, proactive or reactive? Drop your answers in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your approach on your driving and where you have learned from. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, share it with a friend who's chasing tens, and subscribe for more Trackday education mixed with real stories like this. Oh, and next time we chat, make sure to ask me if this is on or off the record. Regardless of what you say, if it's beneficial to newcomers into motorsports, believe me, I will be making a video about it. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys at the racetrack.